Hey everybody, I'm the Griffineer and welcome back to 7 billion humans. We're gonna play Injection Sites 2. We're doing the hard stuff as early as we can. Oops, okay, let's not panic, it happened again. Management sent some important data cubes and I put most of them down there on the floor, but I think I missed a few spots. I mean, you're not the most understandable listener either. Nodding along, hoping I'll stop talking soon. I know, this is our life together now, so just grab all those data cubes there and fill in those horizontal lines however you like. I didn't organize them for you this time, but I'm sure you'll figure out how to do it as you go. Alright, so our goal is to fill in these empty cubes. So we've got some interesting options. So we want, I think, to program them to go to wiggle. Is this how it starts? I'm curious. Yeah, I know. Oh, this is where we left it, because I was curious how that was going to work. So, I want you to go away. I think we're all starting by picking up our number. We step that way. We step down. We step down. We step that way. So we've got a couple options. Actually, I forget. Okay. They stay. I wasn't sure if when they picked up. So the idea here is actually, what happens if they step down first? Okay. So I think what we're doing here is since we want to wiggle, I think we want them all to go like this. I think that's going to be the easiest way for us to solve this problem. Because we don't know where these gaps are going to be, we just know that they're in one of these 4 rows. Because we could like have them all walk down, all shift over, all walk up, but the problem becomes when we do that, if say, so if we wanted to cover everything, we've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can't cover all of them. Because we've got something that's kind of a weird number. And even if we could, let's say that we didn't have these 2 outer rows, right? This person goes down, they find an empty spot here. If they come up and there's an empty spot in the same row, which in this case there isn't, but in this case there are 2 right there, then we have a problem. So I think the most efficient way is for us to zigzag through this, which means that we have to find the most efficient way to do that. So, but here's the thing. We need... See, I don't know if this one can ever be empty. If this one can be empty, then we have to do this differently. But that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know enough information. Because otherwise we could just do an initial condition of stepping them down and solve our problem that way. Because there are 2 main things that we have to do here. And that is set up a check where if this is empty, if it's empty, drop. Like, we're going to jump to this drop and then be done. And because of the way it works, the way people step, as we just saw, we're not going to have to worry about... Basically, there will be a person standing on top of each of these, and that's how it's gonna look. We're gonna include that later. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. but we want initially them all to step up. I mean, I'm going to assume for now that this one cannot be empty. If it can be, then we're screwed. And that's just how it's going to be. I do believe it says that our chance, like, it has to succeed more times than... there's a certain percentage of times it has to work for it to count. And I think our chance of that being empty... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of course. So there's 6 gaps. Right, we've got 6 people, not 5. Anyway. Interesting. Yeah, so if this one can be empty, this is going to break. But considering there's 6 empty spots, and there's 13 times 4, there's 52. 6 of them are empty. The chance of this being empty is basically 6 out of 52. Our expected chance of failure, you know, 3 out of 26, so about 12%. So we should fail about 10% of the time if this one can be empty, which I think is within the accepted margins of error, but we'll find out. So, our initial conditions are going to be step, pick up, step, step. We then have everybody here. So then we have to enter our loop. We have to enter our loop. So this is our initial conditions. Initial conditions, and here's the loop. Comments are nice. So in this loop, we have to handle both walking left and right. So the thing is, we actually can't do that. So we have to be going that way and that way. So we know that we're going to start walking to the right, so we can just start doing that. So we say, if where we are is nothing, we will jump to the drop. Boom. Simple. Otherwise, we're going to step that way. This isn't actually right, by the way. Because we also have a transition. Actually, let's call it that, because it's easier. So that, by the way, is literally just going to be step down, step down. And then we can go if to the left is a wall. That means that we're over here. We're going that way. Otherwise, we're going to go to the left. That's how we want to play this. We don't want to do an else. Actually, we don't want to do that. Here's going to be the interesting part. This is some optimization I'm planning to do early. Alright. Okay, so if nothing, jump. Otherwise, we step to the right. That's actually not where we want to do it. So we go if to the right is a wall, actually is not a wall, step that way, jump there. So if it's not a wall, we step to the right and we jump, which is we check again. If it is, we're going to hit right here. In which case, we will step down, and we'll start going this way, which is going to be exactly the same as this. Kind of. If where we are is nothing, we jump to the drop. If to the left of us is not a wall, we will step that way. And if it is a wall, here's where it gets just a little bit different. We jump all the way back here, where we step down, we do nothing. I think this might work. This might work. We're gonna do steps, okay? So they all step down. They all pick up. They all step down, they all step down. I want to be watching you. So, we're now in moving right. So, where they are is not nothing, so they all should step to the right. It's nothing, so we step to the right. Hers is something, so she jumps to drop. And everybody else, we'll look at the next guy. It was not a wall, and it was nothing, so they all step to the right. So the next big interesting part is going to be when... So where he is nothing. So he then steps down, and to the right of him was a wall, so he steps down, and now he's jumping through there. I think this works. Oh, nope, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Of course it went wrong. Of course it went wrong right as I checked. Okay, so, okay, okay, we're watching this guy. Oh. Wait. Right, he's stepping down, he's stepping down. Alright. Where he is not equal to nothing. So he steps and left does not equal a wall. So he should step left. Oh. I'm dumb. We forgot the part where we jump back to here. So it keeps looping around on this. I might... The funny part is I might have the drop move to the end. We're going to have a valid solution here. Holy shit. And it worked every time. Ew. Okay, so I'm actually curious. If we have them step up out of the way, there's less time spent. I'm curious if this is faster, because it was 66 seconds. Okay, it is very, very slightly faster. Alright, so we have a valid solution, but the thing is, it's not very fast. So how do we make this faster? This one's tough. This one's tough. This one is earning its keep where it is. Um, this is always interesting. So our whole goal here. See, if we ever have two gaps, that becomes a problem. We have to snake down. We have to. If there's another solution, then I don't know what it is. Trying to write something. I'm trying to, more importantly, I'm trying to think of the way that uses the fewest commands, because honestly, fewest commands is going to be the easiest. Or sorry, is going to be the hardest. Fastest? I can write an absolutely terrible program. So once you're here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. Darn. It's not going to let me do terrible things easier. What I am about to write is the worst thing ever. So basically, what I'm going to do is if that doesn't equal a wall, step that way. Okay, I do actually kind of have to do that. So I need them to step down, pick up. I need them to, if that is not a wall, otherwise, step down, step down. If where you are is nothing. Drop. Oh Lord. This is gonna happen a whole lot. Oh no, I'm not doing the else chain. So I would like to point out, this will be very fast. And I'm dropping in like this to avoid the ifs being obnoxious or more obnoxious. I said, actually, oh, this is going to be terrible. This is going to be the most commands in the frickin' world, and I hate it already. If you didn't think I hated the world enough... This is the first row, by the way. So, when we did the prequel to this game, which at this exact moment is skipping my mind, and I mean that, it's skipping my mind. When we did the prequel to this game, Human Resource Machine, there we go. I did this. The effective thing, this effectively. Multiple times. And one of the things that I made sure to say is don't ever do this. If you actually do coding, don't ever do this. We're doing this for an optimization puzzle. Optimization puzzles are very unique cases because specialization does a couple different things. It makes things fast and it makes things inflexible. And that's the trade-off. If you, it's the whole jack of all trades, master of none, but in reverse. So a lot of the times, you know, people say jack of all trade, master of none. And the whole idea is that saying is supposed to be a detriment, right? It's supposed to be a, oh, well, you know, if you do this thing, then if you do this thing, which is become a jack of all trades, i.e. become well-versed in a bunch of different things, then you're going to, it's going to be bad for you because you aren't actually a master of anything. Turns out mastery in a lot of cases is overrated. Now, don't take that as me saying don't master things, because I would say no, you do want to master things. But you don't need to in general succeed. Being flexible, being able to pick up things and do them at a skill level that is adequate is better. So from here we're going to step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 again, I figured. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Because, and so I feel like I need to qualify this, because in general what I just said is bad, right? We're taught at a relatively young age that you want to be good at things. And quite honestly, you do. You want to be good at things. It's a point of personal pride if you are skilled at what you do. And there's definitely nothing explicitly wrong with that. Being good at what you do and being happy about it, being prideful about it, is good. It's good. 100% good. And I realize that the way that maybe I should be doing it is snaking this way. But for most efficient, that's something I need to think about. Being proud of your work, doing good work, is good. Don't let anybody explicitly tell you that that is always wrong. But when it comes to something like this, this is a program. Programs are not people. We'll have a different discussion about robots, but programs are not people. And programs exist to do things. Their whole goal is to get things done. They don't have a soul, they don't have a conscience, they don't have feelings. They're literally us, and I think this is my favorite description of computers they are rocks that we have tricked into thinking. because silicone is kind of like silicon dioxide, or silicon dioxide is sand, so you know, it's glass, things like that. You know, it's a rock, and of course the way that we have harnessed them gives it the appearance that they are thinking. Now, in the future, when robots are significantly more intelligent, we can have a discussion of sentience, and I'd be okay with that. But for now, that's what it's gonna be, right? So I would like to note that we have finished 2 rows and we are at 91. By the way, the funny part is this goes like that. And honestly, since we know that it's slightly faster, that. So right now, this will cause all of them to go 2 rows. I fucked up. Oh no. Alright, things got weird because it didn't go the whole way. Oh, because of this. We had some steps that I accidentally clicked to the wrong direction. So yeah, this should go 2 rows. As that shit gets weird. Gets weird because of the way that goes. So then after all that, they step down. They step down. Then they step right, step right. So this is going to happen 12 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And actually, we want to do a check right after there. Alright, so, as I was saying, programs are designed, or they exist to serve, and yeah, that sounds bad, but they're programs. They're processes, they're not thoughts. It's the same way that... Let's see, I'm trying to think of a good comparison here. It's the same way that lighting gas powers the engine in your car. It's what these are, what programs are. Whoops, being silly. So, the question becomes, do you want gas that you can burn in any engine, but only performs at partial efficiency? Or do you want a gas that you know burns in your engine, but it can only burn in an engine of your type, whatever that may be, but it burns really well? So, if you actually look at what exists now, you know that it's exactly done the latter. Very specific types of gas. So, you know, different octanes. That's what it is. Different octanes of gas, and you put them into your car depending on what type of car you have. There's also diesel. Diesel's it's not exactly the same difference as octane, but it's a different type of gas that burns differently, and a different engine that uses it in a different way. Things like that. I will be honest, I don't know all of the exact differences, But that's the idea, is it burns better in those engines, therefore, that's what we use it for those engines. Because we know that those engines do it well. And that's what this sort of optimization is for. This code that I'm writing right now will work very well for this exact situation. I'm very curious to see how much faster than optimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm very curious to see how much faster than optimal this is going to go. Because one of two things is going to happen. And this... Yeah. One of two things is going to happen. We're going to blow it out of the water. It is going to be super efficient, and it is going to come in under that 55-second mark without even trying. Like, without even trying at all. Whoops. Well, and without even trying is kind of a misnomer here anyway. That's option one. Because, believe me, this sort of specialization that we're doing is not cheap. Or, it's not. And obviously that's the thing. So if it doesn't, so I guess there are three cases. Because the third case is it, like, barely gets it. So if it doesn't come in under... Wait, I can't use anymore? What are you saying? Are you kidding me? So this game has some limitations that it hides very well. Alright, so we can't do this the way that I wanted to do it. Yep, there are limitations to the number of steps we can have. So we have to write this last one in a loop. So they never intended for what I'm doing to be done. And I'm okay with that because the way that I'm doing this is not good. I have a feeling that this is what we're supposed to be doing. What do you know? Wow. Well, we got that one. So this is the third case, and that means they intended us to do something like this. So here's the fun part. I'm going to do this in a slightly alternative way. So yeah, step down, pick up, step down, step down. And that is where, instead of trying to create loops that are kind of ignoring this, we actually write the loops. If where you are is nothing, well, I guess we'll do a jump. Like that. I'm still trying to figure out how the hell you make this in 10 lines of code. Because I think if you hit it right on the nose, or if we missed it, because I never actually went over the case of we missed it. If you miss it, and arguably if it's right on the nose, then there's another solution that we're not looking at, otherwise known as I'm missing. That is actually a better way to solve this problem. The workers are just going to have to walk along each of those lines looking for data gaps. Yeah. Huh. That is a very interesting thought. So... maybe not. So, the worker that's at the back needs to walk. So if the worker to your left, or if the space to your worker is a worker, step left. How does that execute? I'm curious. Okay, no, everything... Actually, this is going to be really interesting to watch. Yeah, okay. Infinite loop. So, because it would be interesting if you just had them traverse. Sorry, I've gotten lost in a couple different thoughts here, and I've never actually got to finish a statement. Or never got to finish a point. Because of things going on in the game. So when we finished the optimization challenge for speed and got it right just barely, it was because it was so super specialized that it would work really fast every time, and that was it. And it was done. But it won't work for any other situation unless it is exactly like this, where those characters need to walk along a 14 they need to walk down 1, pick something up, walk down 2, and then they need to walk something that fits this exact profile. That's the only time that works. But if that is very specifically what it needs to do, it will work like that really great. You are trading flexibility for speed, which, if you know the situation is going to be the same, is great. Now, when it comes to things like programs or engines, that is fantastic, because you can generally, like, that engine that takes diesel is always going to take diesel. It's not going to suddenly start taking or wanting regular unleaded. It's just not how that's going to work. Now, for something like people, your situation in life or whatever is definitely not going to be nearly as predictable. So, being more flexible is generally better. So, here's the other thing. You can do something very, very efficiently, which we're talking about right here. But the instructions become more complicated. So obviously every single extra instruction we have here means it's more complicated. So if you are tech savvy and your parents are not, imagine having them doing something relatively simple, giving them, what was it, 160 steps to follow. They'll hate it, and they will not be happy about it. And you will never actually get them to do it, and they will keep coming back to you. So, even if you can do something in a way that isn't necessarily the most efficient or the fastest, if it's the easiest to understand, that will get it done. It's the easiest to understand execution-wise. So the fewer number of steps, the better. So if... I'm trying to think of something that would actually fall into the this is similar and, you know, functions as a simile or metaphor for this. But I just can't quite think of it. But the idea here is basically, it might be really cryptic to do something, but if it works quickly, Ta-da. The Rubik's Cube, or solving a Rubik's Cube, is the best thing I can think of. Because there are certain patterns in the Rubik's Cube that it doesn't make any sense that it should do what it does. But if you do it, it just works. And if you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, you kind of know what I'm talking about. If not, I'm sorry. It's a really hard thing to find an example for. Let's just say that let's just say that if this being something meant step that way and dropping repeat or like just imagine for a second that this worked, but you had no idea why the hell it worked. You just knew that it worked. That's how your parents might view your explanation on how to make their computers work right. They don't necessarily understand why it works, but it works because it's short and simple. Even if it meant that this person bounces like 70 different times, you know, that's okay. So, there are some assumptions here that I'm not sure I can make. And I don't think... Oh, cool, it tells me this. Shortest known solution with greater than 50% success rate at time of release equals 9 commands. 5 seconds? Holy crap. We're going for greater than 50% success rate. So... I know what we need to do, and I hate it. No, like really, I hate it. I don't want to do it, but I think I have to. So I think it's step down, if where you are is nothing, drop. This isn't going to be 10 commands. I'm actually very curious to see some of those solutions. Oh, interesting. Okay, so here's one of the solutions that I'm not sure. Can you have a double gap? I don't know. So if where you are is nothing, and see the thing is, ands are really key. And where you are is a data cube, or where to your left is data cube, and to your right is a data cube. Drop. So here's the thing. It has to work for this one, or it doesn't pass. They don't have to weave like this. They can weave like... Oh, god damn it. Okay. As long as the gaps don't double up in a row or aren't next to a wall, this will work. I hate this. I really do. So step left. If that's a wall, step down and jump to something else. That's 8 instructions. I don't know how you can do this in 10. Oh. Right. I hate this. So we know they're going to check. They're going to step down. We are going to make them step left and check. If they hit a wall, they're going to step down. And then they're going to step left. There might be a way to optimize this. Oh, this is kind of wrong, actually. Okay, so we need them to pick up. They're then going to walk left while checking. We want them to all go down. Go right while checking. No, while not checking. No, we want them to be checking on this row. So they're going to walk down, step down. Then they are going to step right. And they're going to keep doing that. Unless to the right is a wall. In which case, they will step down. In which case they step down. Then, if where they are is a thing, they will drop. Okay, I don't know if this is going to work. Step right. It's not a wall. Step right. Step right. Step right. Step right. It's a wall. So you'd step down. Shit. We need 2 more instructions. Because else's count as instructions, which is annoying. I guess we could just have them step down. Or I don't know how this or works. No. Because otherwise they drop. We don't want them to drop. Frack! I'm going to be on this for way too long. We need them to pick up. We need them to step right, step down, step left, and drop. God damn it. How do we... Okay, the crux here is them turning around. The crux here is them turning around and walking the other direction. Can we manipulate these people into doing something silly? Like, is there a way to manipulate them such that they always follow the right path? Unfortunately, we can't just hit a random number generator. The problem is we have to give them a direction to step. So, here's the thing. They're either stepping left, they're stepping right, or they're stepping down. And they're always picking up down to start with. Like, this is happening, and it's happening in this order, probably. Or one of those orders. Like, this one switched with this one, or it's like this. So, oh man, I can just tell that people are screaming at the screen because I'm not thinking of this. This... Here's the problem. This is what this becomes. We always step... Like, we can make this work, right? If that's a wall... I feel like the fact that these people, when they take steps, like, move through each other is the correct way to do it. Like, there's something there. Like, we can't avoid this. Alright, and we also have to have a drop. I don't know how to do this. I think I'm gonna have to leave this one and come back to it. Like, we're just gonna have to call the episode, and I'm gonna have to come back to thinking on the optimization for this one. Because, as I said, we need a pickup. We need at least 3 different steps, the way that we're currently doing it. And we need a drop. Which means we have 5, exactly 5 instructions to make this work. And we need at least 2 jumps. And we're gonna need ifs. If, jump, if, jump. And an if for the drop. If, jump, drop puts us at 12. So... Like, I know this has to be solvable, because clearly somebody did it in 9. And this optimization is not great. We can't unroll loops. Can we... So we can make it so we only need to if and drop. We can't drop in a square. Alright, one sec. I need them to step down. Because if you can try dropping in every square, then this will make everything easier. And I'll hate it, by the way. I will hate it. You don't need to check if you can drop. Ah! Sorry, I hate this. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work, actually. Because they'll pick it up. Whenever they can. That's the problem. They'll pick it up. So if we have them pick this up, I have to get them down here first. This is a problem. I can't do this. That's 4 steps. And that's as many steps as it takes to check if I need to drop. Is 2. So the idea here is what would be really nice is so we have them pick up. They don't check. You know, they walk this way until they hit a wall. One sec. So the idea of what I was trying to do before is we just, when they're walking in one direction, they're never checking. When they're walking in the other, they are always checking. So, but if we can always drop, but always dropping is slow, but we don't care about slow, we care about simple instructions. So then it was that if that's a wall, you step down. Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted. If that's a wall, see, we're at 11. And this would almost work, except this always drop would break up here. I'm upset that you can drop when there's no space for it. Alright. We're calling the episode here because it's been an hour. I'll come back to this maybe later. We'll see. But we did get one of them. So I'll take that at the very least. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next time. But until then, keep your gears turning.